That said, let's get right into the meat and potatoes, because my goal for those soulful leadership and soulful selling seminars eventually is, of course, to create content for you guys and for other health and wellness practitioners, coaches in that area that is so compelling and so good that people want to share it and want to even pay for it. Now, right now, I'm not there yet because I'm not perfect. Oh my God, it's terrible. So today I thought let's do something else, because we wanted to talk about something really valuable, which is our elevator pitch. What do we say if somebody asks, so what do you do? And many of us don't really know what to respond, especially if we do something in many areas. So I thought this is really not about doing a presentation on it, because it's boring. You can ask ChatGPT to do that for you, right? And they would spit out a wonderful structure what to do, but that doesn't tell you exactly how to do it. Well, okay, so what we'll do today is I want to share my screen and I'll show you what I prepared for you. Of course, you know me, I always do something to prepare, because one of the most important things that we all need to learn when we become business owner is that it's no longer for me, what's in it for me, it's what's in it for the other people, for my audience, for my listeners when I'm a speaker, for my clients and customers. So this is my Brain and Success website, and here's the courses that I made for you. Feel free, they are still free. The only thing you need to do currently is register for an account if you want to see it. And in this art of soulful selling, I want you to go right now, if you can, to that, because today's worksheet is here. Bonus practical soulful selling has two parts. Oh, there's create a new account if you don't have one, or you can go to sign in if you come back, and there you go. And there's a 90-day blitz that is last week's recording. Here it is. I put it in this morning. And this is today's episode. How to craft or rewrite your elevator pitch. Now, what you can do, click on open. And here it is, the worksheet that we are going to work on today. And you all can have it and work with me together. For now, what I recommend, just open either a note panel, take a piece of paper next to you, and do the exercises together with me. So I'll talk a little bit about what is in the worksheet that I crafted from all kinds of sources. I didn't just ask ChatGPT. I took, of course, my own experience and added it to it, because not only got I burned a lot from several business coaches, I know how difficult it is to do that. But the truth,
Christine,
yes.
I've got a question. I'm on the page. I'm just wondering where I find the worksheet.
Okay, you go to courses.
Okay. The page I'm on, okay, courses, yeah.
You go Brain and Success, you were there.
Yeah.
Then you go to courses, and
Yep.
then you go to the art of soulful selling.
Yeah.
And if you don't have an account yet, create one quickly with your email and thing. And then you come to this window.
Okay. Yeah, I've got that open.
And click on bonus, practical soulful selling. That's all the practical stuff.
Okay, I need to create an account, so I'll do that, and I'll just keep
do that
listening.
afterwards if you want to, because you will get it that way.
Okay, all right.
And everybody that has an account now will have access to that forever, whatever good stuff I will create in the future with you guys as my guides and review partners, which I love so much. So how do we create or rewrite our elevator pitch? Let's just go on over the basics, because really what people in the first 7 seconds, people make most of their decisions about you. And unconsciously or automatically, they have decided whether they want to listen to you or not. And that's really frustrating for most of us. We don't realize it. We don't have time when we meet somebody. They make a decision. Do I like you? Do I trust you? Do I even want to listen to what you're having to say? And many people will never like you, and that's fine. I mean, there's people that just don't like you. That's fine. And so other names for what I call here elevator pitch are also soundbite, elevator speech, or infomercial. Now it's named because it's supposed to be so short that when you meet somebody in the elevator, in a crowded elevator, and they say, "Hey, nice to meet you, what do you do?" You can tell them before the next time the elevator stops what it is that you do in such a compelling and interesting way that they want to say, "Oh, let me come with you and explain more about what you do," ideally. So the truth is that at any given time, only 3% of the people we will meet are in a buying mode. They're even interested to buy the stuff that you offer them. And 7% may be open to buying, 30% may be interested but not thinking about it. Another 30% don't even think they're interested about your product or service. And the rest know that they're not interested. So you have a chance. 70% of the people theoretically are open to listen to your message. The rest forget about them. It's a pyramid, not a pyramid scheme, by the way. So an elevator pitch is a short description that you can use to tell people quickly, specifically, and succinctly what you do and who you help. And the purpose is to make it easy for someone to know either who they could refer to you or if they might be a good client or customer for you yourself. And you can use this when you're networking, when you're meeting potential referral partners, promotional partners, or potential clients. You can use it in social medias, in interviews, on the stage, and whenever people ask you what you do. Now, the purpose of the initial conversation that we talked about last time is, of course, to be interested in other people. So in the end, they reciprocate and ask you, what do you do? So your elevator speech ideally is just one sentence and less than 1 minute. Less than 3 minutes is absolute maximum. Yes, Jackie. Good. And ideally, you use it after a first connection, where the other person asks you, "And what do you do?" After they told you all about themselves, eventually, maybe they'll ask you, "And what do you do?" And then you have about 1 minute to make a good impression. Here are 3 examples. Now, I want you to vote on them and tell you which ones to find most interesting. If I say, "I have a private brain and mental health coaching practice where I use my background as a retired physician and a naturopath to help health conscious individuals gain confidence in selecting their best health, nutrition, and mindset habits so they can recreate their life energies daily, age well, and live daily with passion and purpose. I do this by providing them with evidence-based answers to all their questions for my over 40 years in healthcare and personalized research." Anything you remember from that? Probably not. Second example, a little improvement. I use my background as a retired physician and a naturopath to help health-conscious individuals gain confidence in selecting their best health, nutrition, and mindset habits so they can recreate their life energies daily, age well, and live daily with passion and purpose. That's pretty good. But you can even pique more interest when you say something like, "People hire me to recover the sparkle in their eyes and the spring in their step." Because that's most likely that they say, "What? How do you do that? What does it mean?" So then you can explain further. See, which one do you find more intriguing, compelling, and easy to understand? Okay, let's break it down and then we get to do that for your own business, service, product, whoever your target market is, it works. Now, all the components of an elevator speech are, you always include a generic title of what you do, if you want to categorize you. I'm a health coach, I'm a speaker, or I speak on stages. You may or may not. Make it clear who your ideal client is. You want to directly address them. Parents hire me, or I help parents. I help adults. I help teachers. I help organizations. Clearly identify and state the results that your clients get and any pain point that you may relieve them of. What do you help your people get better at? Do you help them feel better, get more energy, overcome their mind blocks, understand why people wage wars in Ukraine, or learn how to become better at whatever it is you help them to do? For example, if you're a speaker, paid speaker on stages and want to make money, you have to think about two target markets. Number one is the organization that hires you. Why do they want to pay you to speak on their stage? Now, that's different whether they are a for-profit organization that hires you for their employees or a non-profit that hires you to fulfill their purpose. In any case, it's the organization purpose that you have to address when you sell to the organization. And then a second step, when you do your talk or your course or your workshop, you have to consider what their target market is interesting. So you could say something, I help people understand why people wage wars in order to achieve peace on earth. Very simple put. If you talk for the World Peace Organization, let's just say there is one like that. And if necessary, and it's optional, highlight your special process, method, expertise. And everybody has one. I call it the 7-step sparkle system. Or you by giving them access to, by helping them understand, or by sharing my story of struggle and how I got out of it as an example of how you too can achieve happiness again. Always go back to what they want, because nobody cares what you experienced. Even if it's really bad, they may say, oh, but they never buy from you unless they feel that some benefit will result for them. Now, how do you do that? Here's tips and tricks. You worry about that later. Don't worry about getting it perfect now, because it's important to get a good draft going, and then we can work on it during the rest of your life. I don't know how many elevator speeches I tried in my last 7 years where I was in business. I think about 150 at least. I'm still not done. I don't know which one is the best, and it may change over time. So don't worry about if you don't get it perfect. Nobody ever gets it perfectly. I have never seen anybody that had 100% great elevator pitch. Maybe for them. Maybe it is. I don't know. I haven't seen it. Now, there's 5 steps to build your elevator pitch. And that's where your paper comes in that you have right now in front of you. That's important. Step 1, who do you serve? Right now, let's work on that. Who is your ideal client, audience, or customer? Anybody wants to say anything to that? Who do you serve? Who do you want to serve?
My ideal client, and this is where my business kind of gets complicated, is my end user is not the purchaser.
Right. You have the problem like Ian does. He gets paid by an organization or nonprofit.
So my ideal client would be human resources usually, or training manager, or they work on the behalf of the company to say, hey, please search out a solution to this. All of our team leads are complaining about this. And so I need to convince them that my presentations will benefit the people who actually attend them.
Sarah, I'm in exactly the same boat. My end client and my hiring client are not the same.
And that is very common in a B2B setting. And it's actually easier to make money in that kind of setting because they usually have greater hiring contracts eventually. You get paid more. Eventually, once you're known. Now that's a step. It takes time, nowhere around it. But the principle is the same. So the first thing you need to achieve is realize that really your primary target market first, not for your content, but for your sales outreach, are the people that are paying your speech in the organization. Human resources, who else would be there? Ian, you know more about it than me. Procurement managers, what are they called?
That's a good term. That'll do.
That'll do. Okay, let's go with procurement manager. And so then you have to see how to get past his secretary that wants to keep everybody like us from reaching them. And then we can talk about strategies in a later session because I have good ideas how to do that. So it's very important that you work your way towards a decision maker in that organization that actually has the power to hire you for their event or course and buy your course and then make the purchasing decision. So that's number one. And then once you have a contract, say you got a speech to deliver, that's the same situation that B2C people are into. And that's where the complexity goes out of it. Yes, there's where your message is important to the audience or to the consumer if you do direct to consumer selling or have a B2C business where you do coaching to end consumers. And you will see that many of the marketing classes and sales courses are directed to B2B market because it's so much easier to make money in that area. It's still difficult, but it's easier time-wise because you have to reach out to less people. But you have to have a good message and something, a product that you can pitch to them. Whereas when you reach out to the end consumer, you pitch basically yourself to the end consumer and say, hey, do you like me? How about we talk about getting into my product or service? So it's very important that your audience knows that you're talking to them. And so when you reach out to an HR professional, you can say, I help mental health patients feel better because they don't care unless they have a problem themselves. That's not what they're looking for. They're looking to look better in their own hiring hierarchy. They want to look better in the eyes of their boss. And they want to be able to justify the decision to hire you and pay you to their boss. So when you do a pitch to HR or a procurement manager, you need to include points why your message and your speech or your course is what they need to serve their organization well, so they can make a good impression to their manager. Those points, think about what they need to talk to their manager later and say, hey, this speech, I hired Ian, I hired Sarah, I hired Christine, because she said she could serve our target market in a way that improves our good standing as a company, as a nonprofit with our clients and the government. Because who pays the organization? Who pays, in the end, the nonprofits? It's either government, it's companies, it's private people that give donations. So companies, organizations want to look good in the eyes of their target market that pays them. So that's important when you pitch anything to their procurement messenger. What do they want to look good? So that's the first step. Now say you're B2C. You have somebody in front of you that may be interested, a normal person, let's say. Same idea. Everybody is looking for one thing and thinks about what's in it for me. That's a famous channel, WII-FM, the most listened to radio channel in the world. What's in it for me? Whoever you meet in your daily life has that question, whatever you say. And whatever you say, if you get in the mind, they won't tell you the answer, so what? You've lost. And if in their mind they say, oh, you won, next step. See it as a computer game. You go level, level, level. The first step when you meet somebody is to get away from the so what? Why should I care? To, oh, then you get next level in your computer game of sales. You see, then you can start pitching. All right. It sounds complicated. I like your TV, Ian. Identify the holy grail of what you offer your corporation or organization's clients. What is the top benefit? What's the, I can't live without that benefit. Imagine somebody has severe back pain, can't walk. He wants to get rid of the pain. He'll do anything and pay anything to get rid of it. What's the pain that your product or service or speech or learning or course will solve? And why are you so good at it? And what are you so good at that you are the one that can solve it and nobody else in this world? Oh, wow, that gets hard, because if you don't believe that you can, nobody else will ever. You have to be delighted and proud to share what you do for the world. Your passion.
Christine, I have a question. And I think this could be a generic response for almost any business, especially in the healthcare world. I sell hope. But the problem with that is it sounds too flowery, too generic. But really, I think in many ways, you're selling hope to change, hope to develop, whatever. And I'm not sure how well that would work, because I think if I heard that, I would turn off.
And to sell hope,
it's not quantifiable.
Yeah,
that's it. That's the problem.
And that's a problem in anything that's not quantifiable, like weight loss or when it's not money. Weight loss is quantifiable. You have the pounds. Money is quantifiable. You either make money or you don't. And feeling better is not quantifiable that easy. It is. There's measures for that. And it is the emotion that you need to appeal. So when you just said, I sell hope, that so what? I can just go switch on the TV to get that. So we need to quantifiable. That's something we need to work on, and we will. Let's just finish this section and then we come to the question. But really, what will turn their heads and capture interest? And yes, in a way, we all sell the hope that your life in the future will be better than your life it is now. And that is what people buy all the time. Whether they watch TV, they want to see that. Whether they read a penny story, they want to read that. The hero gets it in the end. They get married. The bad cook gets caught. That gives you the emotional release, the satisfaction. Same thing when we coach them. We need to get more specific when we sell our services. And it's hard when it's in the area of mental health. But Ian, for you specific, where I know you a little bit, you could say, I help military trauma survivors to be able to, what is it that they achieve at the end? Achieve inner peace and calmness?
I help military traumatic event survivors move beyond their pain and their need for acute medical assistance or something like that.
Okay, that sounds great. but it just shows the pain, not the
Yeah.
result. You help to move them beyond. So what? Where is that? I can take pills and I'm beyond emotional pain, right?
Okay. I help traumatic event survivors find a new desire to have a fulfilling life. Or I'd have to polish that more.
I think that's great. That's a great start. Help a fulfilling life. I call it passion, purpose, energy,
Yeah.
sparkle. Same idea. Your business card, great, Sarah. And that is really interesting to see. Oh, make it a little intriguing. Find something that symbolizes what you do. Maybe maybe you'll find a symbolism that's used in the military for you. Or I sometimes tell spiritual coaches, find something in your spiritual realm or the Akashic records or wherever you hang out that is a symbol for the end result, a positive symbol. Some people that are astrologers, they go with the positive symbol. It depends. Speak in the language of your target market. If you target seniors, you speak in their language. If you target veterans of military, use language that they are familiar with. Something that they in the military is something really great that everybody wants. It can be very simple. It could be just that, yes, great. It could be just that you say, I help your shoes shine again. So, or whatever was something that every cadet in military training wants to achieve, or all your buttons are lined up. Okay, that's a key outcome. It's very important. And you have to say, so. So, for example, I help military veterans overcome their traumatic memories so they can live a life full of whatever you want to have. What will they achieve? Because the people want the outcome, they buy the outcome. They like to talk about the negatives about their problem, but they buy the outcome where they want to go. And then you can craft your own pitch. My ideal client is health conscious individuals. What pain? I address it indirectly: fatigue, aging, lack of health. The Holy Grail: in confidence in selecting their best health, nutrition, and mindset habits. That is a little bit intriguing because I think, how can you select the habit? You either have it or you don't. You can build it. Now you can actually select. So maybe somebody will ask. And then the outcomes. So they can recreate their energies daily. People say, huh? That's impossible. How can you do that? Age well and live daily with passion and purpose. Now there's 2 dailies. I have to work on them myself. And then you can add a bottom line statement. This is optional if you want to, and say, bottom line is I help people to recover the sparkle in their eye and the spring in their step. And then you wait and see how they react. Watch them. If they shrug their shoulders and say, nice meeting you, and go to the next, it wasn't for them. But if they look at you quizzingly and you say, then you can wait a few seconds and see if they want to ask a question. And even if they're not, you can go on with the question of your own. Is it something you or someone you know might be interested in? That forces them to give you an answer. They even say, well, maybe later on, not right now, or that they're really not interested. Or they say, yeah, tell me more. Then you're in conversation. Make sense? And that's really something that we all have to file on and work on. But the principle is the same. Focus always on the benefit. What's in it for them? Nobody cares that you want to make more money. I need money tomorrow. I need to make $1,000 this week. My boss at when I was working said to me, I need 40 sales this week from your team. And I listened to that as a team member, and I said to myself, why should I care about what you want? You you need 40 sales. Okay, so what? Can you show me how I can do those 40 sales with the little tools that we got? That was my question that I didn't ask him, but in my mind, because people don't say what they think. That's a skill you will acquire over time. You need to listen to your own thoughts, and then that can help you to start listening to other people's thoughts or indirectly guessing at them. And then you can confirm your guess, because we never know what somebody else thinks, really thinks. We never will know that unless we ask them or they tell us. Nothing as dangerous as assumptions. And I've done lots of that.
I tell my workers I would prefer questions over assumptions, because a lot of times when I have staff that comes in to help me around the apartment, I don't want the assumption of, well, she's probably going to want it done this way. I want them to ask questions to see how I would like certain things done, and then move on from there.
There you go. So you see how even helpers in the healthcare system are not trained to ask proper questions. And many of us, we assume we know what's best for the other person when we meet them. And we may know what's best for the other. Just ask your partner when you're married. I often think I know what's best for him, but that's not what my husband thinks is best for him. And I'm blessed because he'll tell me in no uncertain terms. I don't care what you want for me. This is what I want. All right. But other people are not as direct. So we need to be asking good questions. And that's what good sales, soulful sales is all about. Any other questions? Now, I haven't heard neither from Emily or Jackie an attempt at their elevator pitch. And we have about 5 minutes left, just enough for 2 elevator pitches.
I can do one now if you're ready.
Go for one, and then Jackie, and then Emily.
Okay. I'm a traumatic events recovery specialist. I help traumatized individuals and organizations recover their purpose and refocus their energy post-trauma.
Good start. Cut the first sentence, then it's really good. Okay, Jackie, what do you want to say?
I'm here to help you achieve better nutrition and help you make it rain with rain seed nutrition, because everything develops from a seed, and seed is the vital source of everything.
Okay, that's a good
It
start.
needs a lot of
It
work.
needs filing on. It's too direct too. It sounds salesy. So we have to be a little bit more benefits oriented. Emily, what do you come up with? Any ideas?
I have. So I help others add years to life and life to years.
That is a nice one, because that will elicit the response, what? How do you do that? Sarah, do you want to try it? We have some time.
Yep. So I am a mental health awareness advocate, and I help businesses and organizations create an environment that is welcoming and inclusive for those who struggle with mental health and mental illness.
Okay, that's great. And both Ian and Sarah started with an I am, which is okay, but it's even better when you say as a, and then what you do, what you are, as a mental health activist, as a trauma recovery specialist. That doesn't sound so, it's all about me. They want to hear from you, but they want to primarily listen to, and that should be the last part, what's in it from them. And specify your target market. Not to others or organizations is good, Of course, when you talk directly to an organization, you use a name. And you can specify it even more when you talk to the Schizophrenia Society. I help people with schizophrenia and other to do blah, blah, blah. Or
I made that elevator pitch pretty much the same to the Bank of Montreal yesterday.
Yeah,
And it caught the attention of an assistant manager, but then she needs to take it up a number of levels before they would give any comment back.
and there we go. There's a follow-up. The money is in the follow-up. An average person needs 8 to 10 follow-ups these days before they buy. It's ridiculous, but true. And they do research. They go to your website. They look you up on Google. They look you up on LinkedIn. And then they make their decision. Maybe. And it can be pro and con, of course. And sales is generally to make the likelihood of a sale higher if you're good at it. It's all about that. Because even somebody that's really bad at any sales, when they have a really excellent product that somebody in front of you really needs, they will sell it. If you're in the desert and you have a bucket with water, it doesn't matter if you're good at sales. Your water will go to the next best thirsty person. That's not the situation we are in. What would be most valuable for you next week?
The next step after the elevator pitch, if they say, okay, yes, I'm interested.
Okay. Let's talk about how to structure a sales conversation and then go towards objections.